Hey everyone, let's jump right into this explainer. I'm going to walk you through my 2025 shareholder letter. We'll be talking about our playbook for the future, the logic behind nonlinear growth, and exactly how we build long-term value. Let's get right into it.
Looking at this quote, it really sums up my own messy journey. Back when I graduated college, I definitely didn't have it all figured out. Actually, I wanted to be a sportscaster. I set my broadcast reel all over the country and got exactly 2 nibbles.
Because, right, success is almost never a straight line. Just look at this path. I bounced from sports production at a major network over to a retail golf store, did a quick stint in sales and investment banking. It was all over the place. And after all that zigzagging, I finally landed at Amazon exactly 3 days after my final grad school exam in May of '97. So yeah, definitely not a straight line.
Which brings us to our first core concept, the straight line myth, and how we navigate all these squiggles.
Here's the reality. All long-term endeavors, even our massive businesses, they follow squiggly lines. Progress zigs up, stalls, zags down, or sometimes forces you completely back to square one. Think about AWS. Today, people look at it like this inevitable triumph, right? But look at these messy origins. We literally didn't even plan a database service at first. And when we finally built one, total flop, zero traction. Then we launched EC2, our compute service. It was Linux only, absolutely no auto-scaling, and man, the pundits, they loudly claimed enterprises would never, ever use the cloud for anything real. But we embraced the squiggles, we learned from our failures, and we iterated.
All right, moving on to section 2, parallel paths to progress, and why we bet on multiple futures. So when you're trying to invent that next massive inflection point, you really can't just pick one tidy option. You've got to pursue parallel paths. I actually learned this simple truth at a Rangers hockey game with my dad when I was a kid. A defenseman was missing from the bench, and my dad stands up and shouts, "Where's Dallas?" And this fan nearby just yells back, "In Texas, moron." It's a funny memory, but hey, the mathematical logic is pretty bulletproof. 2 is greater than 0. Multiple bets always beat 0 action. Too often, companies just freeze up trying to pick the perfect option instead of placing enough bets to actually guarantee a win. Look at how we do delivery. To get ultimate speed, we are actively funding 3 distinct delivery methods at the exact same time. We've got same-day fulfillment centers for our top items. We have Prime Air, that's our autonomous drone network, aiming for 500 million packages by 2030. And we have Amazon Now for ultra-fast 20-minute delivery from micro-fulfillment centers. Now, some might argue, hey, just pick one and save the money. But actually, they serve completely different needs and complement each other perfectly to get us that ultimate speed.
We took the exact same squiggly, parallel approach with our grocery business over the last 2 decades. We experimented wildly, tried non-perishables in the middle aisles. We acquired Whole Foods in 2017, launched the mainstream Amazon Fresh stores. And look, not all of these hit it out of the park right away, but taking those multiple paths, that gave us the insight for a massive breakthrough, putting fresh perishables directly into our same-day delivery network.
Let's dive into section 3, betting big on AI, which is absolutely the next disproportionate inflection.
This brings us to the biggest inflection point of our lifetime, artificial intelligence. And it's why we are deliberately choosing to bet super aggressively here. When you see a shift this huge, a shift that will change everything, you have to invest as aggressively as you responsibly can. I mean, get this, just 3 years into this AI wave, AWS's AI revenue run rate is over $15 billion. $15 billion! To put that into perspective, we have literally never seen a technology adopted faster. It's moving 10 times faster than the adoption of electricity. And companies are overwhelmingly picking AWS to build out their AI futures. So, to handle all this booming demand and get better economics, we're designing our own custom silicon. Our Trainium 2 chips are giving 30% better price performance than comparable GPUs. And the brand new Trainium 3, that pushes the advantage to 40%. The demand for these chips is it's on fire. It opens up massive ways to lower costs for our customers while building a hugely profitable new pillar for our business.
But look, driving an inflection this massive takes serious financial resolve. Which brings us to Capex, or capital expenditures. This is the cash we lay out well in advance for long-term assets, things like land, power, chips, and servers. We're paying for this stuff 6 to 24 months before we can even bill a single customer. It's basically like planting extremely expensive seeds today so we can reap a massive harvest tomorrow.
The financial logic here is crystal clear. Short-term free cash flow headwinds fund a massive long-term free cash flow surplus. We are 100% willing to take short-term dips in our cash flow to build out this infrastructure because the downstream revenue and profit potential is just unprecedented. We did this exact same thing during the first big AWS growth wave. We absolutely loved the results, and we expect this next wave to be even bigger.
All right, Section 4, the clean sheet mandate. Sometimes you just have to go back to the starting line.
Because even with all that investment and scale, sometimes the absolute hardest choice as a leader is going all the way back to square one. Take Amazon Bedrock, our AI inference service. It was growing incredibly fast, but we realized the existing engine just wasn't going to scale the way we needed. The easy route? Just patch it up. But instead, we spun up a totally separate, dedicated group of just 6 engineers. They started with a clean sheet of paper and built the entirely new Mantle engine in 76 days. 76 days! It's a massive success, now powering incredible growth, but it required the guts to just start over.
We had to make that exact same painful choice with Alexa. Meet the new Alexa Plus. To build a genuinely generative AI-powered assistant, we couldn't just, bolt some AI onto the old comfy architecture. No way. We had to completely rewire Alexa's brain from the ground up, totally disrupting our own roadmap. And because we did that, customers are now talking to Alexa twice as much. The lesson here? Everything gets reinvented eventually.
Which leads perfectly into Section 5. Always day one. Building an enduring culture in changing times. To survive these massive technological shifts, investment spikes, and painful reinventions, you have to cultivate a very specific culture. One that doesn't just survive the squiggly lines but actually thrives on them. Day to day, we are constantly questioning what's changed. We operate comfortably in total ambiguity. We invent and experiment like crazy, fully knowing a lot of it will fail. And we move fast, acting like scrappy owners. Even at our massive scale, we operate like the world's biggest startup. We're perfectly comfortable over-rotating on big bets. And frankly, we are built to withstand intense criticism and be misunderstood for long periods of time.
And you know what? None of this is a new philosophy for us. In fact, every single year, we attach the original 1997 shareholder letter to our modern ones. We do it because, sure, the tech changes, from selling books online to building custom AI chips, but our foundational strategy for creating long-term value, that has literally never wavered.
As Jeff Bezos wrote way back in that very first letter, it's all about the long term. Because of our emphasis on the long term, we may make decisions and weigh trade-offs differently than some companies. We will always prioritize long-term market leadership and massive future cash flows over short-term optics or Wall Street reactions. That nonlinear logic is the absolute core of our success.
So as we keep zigging and zagging into this amazing future of AI, robotics, satellite internet, and beyond, I want to leave you with this thought. Progress is never going to be a straight line. The straight line is a total myth. So, how are you embracing the messy, unpredictable, squiggly lines in your own long-term endeavors? Thanks for jumping into this explainer with me today. Let's keep navigating those squiggles together.